What's going on, y'all? So the Cowboys just got Xavier Rhodes. I have a couple thoughts regarding that, right? So the first one is we all know that Xavier Rhodes, his resume is very solid, right? We know that this is probably a George Edwards hire because of his Minnesota Vikings, affiliation, right? And we know that when Xavier Rhodes, when he was playing in his prime, he was a bad boy, right? He was a good corner. He was one of the best, right? But hey, injuries and age has crept up, right? So can Xavier Rhodes still play? Well, maybe in spurts, right? Maybe we might be able to get, some flashback games from in this playoff run. There's a reason why they just signed him the last week of the season, right? Because it's definitely to make a signing like Xavier Rhodes, right? That means, this was kind of planned all along. They try to give their corners an opportunity to see if they can go ahead and match, and he was their backup plan, right? So one thing I could get from Xavier Rhodes is maybe a Patrick Peterson like, impact, right? Yeah, he may not be the same, but he can be able to give us maybe some physicality, be able to go ahead and jam, man, and be able to, run a little bit, right? Probably sometimes you probably gonna need that safety help though. But if we can get some solid play, right? Not a liability, right? Not giving up easy throws, but challenging them, right? Just him bringing his vet presence, that's gonna be accepted, right? Because one thing for sure, right? Even though even though Deshaun Wright has gave up some plays, right? To me, it's just definitely a whole lot better than what Kelvin Joseph was bringing, right? Kelvin Joseph was just a straight up liability, right? See, the thing with Deshaun Wright was that was to see if we can go ahead and roll with him in the playoffs, but we understand that hey, the experience is not all for nothing, right? This experience is going to lead into next year, right? And hopefully he can go ahead and add more size and use the experience that he has accumulated this year into next year, right? So, he's in the future plans, right? I can't say the same thing for Kelvin Joseph, right? Because if Kelvin Joseph was balling, we wouldn't even need to be bringing in all these corners, right? So Kelvin Joseph is definitely a big part of the reason and injuries why we're bringing in these guys, right? So, to be honest with you, I would expect, Xavier Rhodes to be a big part of what we got going on, right? Because we ain't seen nothing of Mullen. We seen bits and pieces of Mackenzie Alexander, and we have seen Deshaun Wright, and even though he's competing, he's actually showing some good things, willing to make tackles, which is nice, right? But he's still not ready to go ahead and be that all in all, main guy on the other side of Trayvon Diggs in this important year for the Dallas Cowboys, right? This is one of the most important years for the Dallas Cowboys that it's been in a long time, right? Because you actually have a team that can go ahead and make some noise in the playoffs and actually go far, right? And you have the physical makeup on the offense and defensive side to go ahead and do just that, right? So one thing for sure that this Cowboys team don't need is a liability, right? And Deshaun Wright probably in the playoff situation will be a liability, right? So it's crucial that we bring in as much veteran presence as we can, right? Yes, like I said, Xavier Rhodes may not be athletically who he was, right? But hey, if we can go ahead and get some good solid corner play from him, we could take that, right? I'm not necessarily saying to go ahead and just eliminate Deshaun Wright in totality, but what I'm saying is his role definitely needs to be reduced, right? Maybe on some dime packages, just his snaps need to be reduced. I'm not saying he can't be on the field because he probably should be on the field, right? Just because of his length, right? There's still a spot for him to contribute, right? And special teams as well. But however, in the playoffs, you need somebody who's been there in the moment, who can ball, who done seen some things, right? Man, and who can go ahead, man, and make sure they're not liability, right? And I believe that all the corners that they signed, Xavier Rhodes is that. Now, I personally thought that Trayvon Mullen can come in here and maybe do it a little something, but hey, since they signed him, that just hasn't been their case yet, right? For whatever reason, whether it may be his performance or whatever the case, I don't know, right? But, I believe in him. I definitely would give him a shot next year to see, compete. But hey, we can't be worrying about, anybody that's not going and handling business right now, right? We have to make sure that we are ready to go ahead and be the best that we can be. Now, corners don't make, right? You know, it's not the all in all, right? Who got the look at the Super Bowl participants, right? The main thing that they had, right, was some good D-line play and some good safety play, right? The Bengals went to the Super Bowl with Eli Apple and Cheeto, right? So it ain't like you don't need lockdown corners. Yeah, Jalen Ramsey, Rams had Jalen Ramsey though, but all the other ones, you just, okay, you know, they get the job done, right? So cornerbacks don't make or break your Super Bowl run. How your makeup of the team does, right? Because one thing's for sure, one thing that they both had to get there was quarterback play. We got that, right? We brought in T.Y. Hilton, right? We got that. We got some help on the wide receiving core. The Rams had wide receiving core, even though Odell got hurt, right? The Bengals had it, right? They had safeties, right? The Rams brought in Weddle because they understand that the importance of the safety position, which the Cowboys have good ones, right? So we just need a cornerback that can get the job done. And let's hope, man, that, hey, Xavier Rhodes can give us a little something, right? But I believe that he can, though, right? You know, I don't know if you would, you know, play him in, well, yeah, you're going to have to play him in high spurt. It is what it is, man. It's playoff time, right? There ain't no, we're going to go ahead and work you in, man. You know, because evidently if they signed him, he's in good enough shape to go ahead and contribute. So let's go ahead and roll with the punches on that one there. But yeah, that's my thoughts regarding the Xavier Rhodes signing. But y'all go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. We up out of here.